Hello beautiful people and beautiful souls. Here is another video on my YouTube channel, and the topic that we'll be talking about is how to build trust in a relationship, and this is part 3 on this topic. You can find 2 other videos, part 1 and part 2, on my YouTube channel. So today we will be talking about how to build trust in a relationship and how to use communication to do so. Before we start, my name is Dragana Spika and I'm a rapid transformational therapist and a hypnotherapist. So let's go straight into it. Communication and building trust in a relationship. So communication obviously is very important, and I'm sure you've heard a lot about this, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who tell you need to communicate, you need to build a good communication channel with your partner. That's easier said than done sometimes. So let's talk about 2 scenarios in this video that I hope will help you start building good communication channels with your partner and building trust in a relationship, which is very important when it comes to building a strong, solid relationship and a foundation for your relationship. First of all, why is communication so important? Because if we do not communicate with our partner and we constantly keep telling these stories in our head in terms of the way we interpret our partner's actions or an absence of an action in a certain situation, we will probably or potentially be creating this gap between how we interpret certain situation, how our partner is interpreting a certain situation. And if we never compare those, we are just creating this gap that is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is how we have the absence of trust in a relationship, just growing and growing and growing, and the relationship is becoming weaker and weaker. And what I mean by this is the following. In any situation, we are interpreting the situation in one way, and our partner might be interpreting a situation in a completely different way. And we might be interpreting these 2 situations in a completely different way, and both of us might be thinking that the other person doesn't get us, the other person is getting it wrong, and we never compare the interpretation. And as I said, this is just causing us for this gap between us to grow deeper. For example, if there's a situation, let's take a hypothetical example, that you, for example, it's a new relationship or recent relationship, and you are inviting this person to visit you and your family. So a lot of people say, oh, this is an important step, and if it happens, it kind of shows that both of you are seriously in this relationship, and you probably have some plans to have this relationship last for a long time. And let's say you invite this person to visit you and your family, your parents maybe, or people who are close to you, and maybe this person refuses or is coming up with excuses. And you, on your side, might be thinking, okay, so you never openly discuss this with them, you just hear what they have to say, and you start creating your own story in your head as to why they've said this, why they've just made up an excuse. And maybe you're saying, well, they certainly don't think that this relationship is going anywhere, and they certainly don't have any serious intentions, so that doesn't seem right to me, and that doesn't look right, that doesn't feel good to me. They're not serious about this relationship, and you immediately start behaving in line with what this story that you're saying to yourself. You immediately start being a bit reserved to them. So this relationship is now going in a direction that is opposite to building a strong relationship and a strong foundation because of the lack of communication. And maybe in the same time, while you're telling this story to yourself, that other person is thinking, oh, let's say I'm unemployed now, and it will look really bad on me. I really like this person, and I think it will look really bad if I go and present myself now to these people that she cares about. What will they think about me? And I prefer to get this job that I'm after, and maybe I lose a couple of kilos, couple of pounds before I present myself, because I really care about this person and I want people who are close to this person to accept me and to like me. So I just need a bit more time to just sort myself out, and then I will be comfortable to present myself because I care about this person. So in the same situation, and then in the same time, this other person is just maybe, because of the story they were saying to themselves, becoming a bit colder, less willing to see this person. So now this relationship is going in a completely opposite direction to direction of building a strong relationship because of the lack of communication. So both of these people are actually willing at this point to invest in this relationship, and they like each other, but because of the lack of communication on this one topic, now all of a sudden their trust is weakening, and their foundation for their relationship is weakening. They don't trust each other anymore. One person doesn't trust the other one because they say, well, I shouldn't trust them because they don't really have any serious intentions, because they refuse to see these people that to come and be introduced to these people that I care about, people that are in my life, my family or my friends. And this other person is saying, well, this person is becoming colder and colder, and I don't know why. It might be because I don't have a job at the moment. So now all of a sudden there's a lack of trust between these two people because of the lack of communication, not because they're not trustworthy or they don't have good intentions or they don't like each other or they don't want to be together. They don't want to try and build something together. It's purely because of the lack of trust. And because of the lack of communication, there's a lack of trust. So if this person has sat down, the person who has invited the other person to visit their family or friends, if this person has sat down and said, okay, I do understand that at this point you do not feel comfortable being presented to my family or my friends, and I am interpreting this in a way that you do not really want to be in my life. You don't really want me to introduce you to people that are dear to me because you don't have long-term intentions. You don't see this relationship growing, and that is why you didn't want to meet my family and my friends. And this is the story I'm telling myself, and because of this, I just feel bad about this relationship. And at that point, the other person could give their side of the story, and instead of them growing apart and the trust weakening in this relationship due to this situation, if they have this open channel of communication, actually this situation could make them grow stronger. This situation could actually help them build trust. So in any situation, please do sit down with the person calmly and tell them, okay, I understand this has happened and this is how I'm interpreting it. Can you please tell me your side of the story? It is very important for me to know, is the story that I'm saying to myself correct? So as I said, this will help you either justify your doubts or build trust in a relationship, open communication channels. And if at any point, and for any reason, in any situation, you do not feel comfortable having this open and honest conversation and asking these questions, this is most likely because you are scared that this person might run away. You are scared to rock the boat. You are scared to be labeled as demanding, difficult, and so on. So you are reluctant to do this because you are afraid that if this person might go away, and then if they do, you might not find another person that is as good as them, or you might not find anyone, any person that you would want to be with you. So I want you to acknowledge that if this is the case, that there is a deeper issue that you're dealing with here, and that you should start addressing in order for you to be able to have an open and honest communication with the person in your relationship. And this is the way you're going to build trust and a healthy relationship. And if you came to the conclusion that yes, you're certainly scared to bring up certain topics, and this is because you're scared this person will run away, there's an underlying self-esteem issue, and you don't think that you're good enough, probably that means that your feeling of self-worth is low and your feeling of self-value is low. You should work on these in order for you to have healthy relationships where you can build trust and an open and honest communication and good foundations for your relationship. The first thing you should work on is your feeling of self-worth and your feeling of self-esteem. So ask for help. You have a lot of free content on YouTube, on social media. You have books, you have workshops, you have free contents that can help you do this, or you can consult a therapist. I hope this video helped, and I wish you all the best.